What's up, Painless Flipping podcast listeners? Before we dive into today's episode, I've got something special for you. Recently, I had the pleasure of joining an amazing podcast, and I wanted to share that conversation with you all. It's a fantastic discussion you won't want to miss. So without further ado, let's jump into that crossover episode and hear what we had to say. Enjoy.
G'day, guys, and welcome to the Thunder from Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Graham Solomon. I've got a special guest in today, but just before I go to him, remember to go and smash that like button, smash the heart button, give him plenty of love, welcome him in here. Remember to go into the chat. If you're watching live, go into the chat, check it out, make some comments, engage, and then also go to the Graham Solomon YouTube channel and the Thunder from Down Under YouTube channel and smash the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, become part of the family so that you get notified when we go live and speak to special guests like we've got now. And now, without any further ado, I'll jump into it. I've got one of the young guns in the industry, a young guy that's up and about, and he's everywhere. You can see him everywhere in the industry at the moment. He's working hard. He's really out there trying to educate, do a heap of stuff, and he's also an investor himself. His name's Nathan Payne. He's an investor. He's got a podcast. He's an educator, a mentor. He does everything. So welcome, Nathan. You're a busy man. It's great to get you on the show.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate the intro. Yeah, it was nice.
No. Well, you're up and about. You're out there working hard, and that's good. And you're not only just working hard in your investing business. You're actually all over the place with education and trying to get content out there. So that's a good thing for the industry, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I really enjoy it too, because I'm like actually applying it and doing it, right? So I'm like, what better way to make content than just record yourself doing your job?
Yeah, well, exactly. It's great. And I mean, you're a lot younger than someone like me. So you've grown up probably with social media and with probably in a mindset of getting stuff out there, not being shy to share stuff. The older generations used to keep things to themselves.
Right.
Do you find that's a pretty big trend now? Is just get it out there, be yourself and get it out there.
I think it's a lot easier to build a brand now than ever, because anyone can throw up their whatever they want on social media. But before I started kind of changing my mindset of like believing in myself and trying to help other people succeed in this industry, I didn't really do social media. I didn't really touch Instagram. I didn't really touch any of this YouTube. I had a YouTube channel for like the last 6 years with a couple videos that I made like when I was in college for projects, but I was never really into social media until I realized, hey, this is a great way for me to reach others, help others, and grow a brand.
Yeah, cool. And what I want to ask you first is I want you to go into your backstory,
Yeah,
how you actually, what you were doing prior to real estate and how you sort of made that transition and what sparked your interest in real estate. And then just give us a bit of an overview of, the journey and where you are right now.
Yeah, I'm not like the traditional guy that's come in here and just I wouldn't say traditional. That's not traditional. Most people don't come in and just absolutely do amazing, right? I'm kind of the case that got into mostly whatever he does, and I struggle, right? Like, because I'm scattered. Like I think everything is great. I'm like that guy who's like squirrel. Or like, hey, that's a golden nugget, and I'm like, I'm pretty. I feel like I have a very big belief in myself. Like, I think I can do anything. So if I see someone doing something, I'm like, I can do that. I can do that too. But that's been detrimental for my success, because I'm always trying to do everything. Right.
Yep.
So just to that was just kind of a little insight into real estate. Like when I got into it, I didn't just amazingly crush it off the bat, but I'll get into that after I kind of give a little background of who I am or where I came from. So I'll just start. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, graduated from high school. Right after high school, I'm a religious person. So I went on a 2-year mission for my church, which you can say started off like my entrepreneurship, or like my journey in like being outgoing in sales and like talking to people. Cause like for 2 years, if you're going to talk to people about Jesus, you're going to get a lot of rejection and no one's going to want to talk to you. So you have to like learn how to overcome and just talk to people and get in positions where you're going to feel uncomfortable. Right. So I did that. And then after my mission for my church, I went to college. And where I went to college, BYU, Idaho, but BYU, it's really big. Like it's a big industry, like big pool for college kids to go door to door sales. So a bunch of kids come back from missions. They've knocked doors for 2 years, talked to people. They're like they would say they're soldiers that are like really good at going to talk to people and knock doors. So a lot of these businesses in these college towns are like, hey, come sell pest control door to door, come sell alarms, solar, dish network, like cell phones. So when I got to college, that was like the way to make good money when you were a college kid, because I didn't have any money. So I got recruited by Dish Network, the satellite, which was big at the time, like satellite TV versus cable. So I went out there my first year, and not having really that much sales experience other than the mission and being outspoken guy, like and liking to talk to people. I sold like about 150 accounts in 3 months and made $16,000 in 3 months, which is really big for like college
Yeah.
guys money. And then after that, every year I leveled up. I next year I got a team. I hired, I got 20 other college students to come work for me. I made overrides. And then over the next 5-6 years, I built teams, and I would go sell in different areas during the summer for like 5-6 months, and where you would make all your money in 5 or 6 months, but you'd grind, right? So I learned how to overcome objection, and how the word no is not like something that should offend you or hurt you. Yeah. So after that, after I graduated in college, I had done that, made some good money. And my one of my friends in college, one of my roommates, his dad was wholesaling at the time. And he was always like, yo, Nate, come wholesale with me. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I got this team. We're doing the sales thing. We're good. But he would do it here and there, like part-time. And I saw him doing wholesaling, lease options. And after college, after I graduated, I got married, and I was tired of moving from place to place. So I got married, and I reached out to him. I said, hey man, I don't want to go sell any more door to door, because I don't want to move, even though it's good money. Let's do real estate. Like your dad does well. Let's go all in. He was working, my business partner right now he was working at a tech company. So I said, let's go all in. Let's bet on ourselves. He quit his job. I stopped working door to door, and we started the wholesaling business, where we, what skill set did I have at that time? I was good at talking to people, knocking on doors. So we started knocking in neighborhoods. We found a lady who knocked on a door, found a lady that needed to sell, and got one of our first deals. Cold called a ton. We were in grind mode. Yeah, we were just like, we got to call, we got to knock doors. So that's what we did in our first 6 months. We made like 90 to like $120,000 together, which was cool. And that was like a lot of money at that time, to see just from a couple deals. So ever since then, it's been trying to perfect the business. It's been hiring the right people, managing, having the right lead sources and marketing. And it hasn't been perfect, right? Because again, I told you, throughout my life, I like to chase things, which is not good, if you're trying to build something. But that's my journey. That's just what it's been, from
That,
sales to this.
that's amazing, mate. I mean, you were primed for the wholesaling business. I mean, firstly, when you talk about, you know, 2 years of door knocking and talking about Jesus, like you said, the rejection, like some people get quite aggressive, and
Yeah.
so you've done that, and the thing is, you got to put yourself out there, and like it's pretty outrageous to, you got to travel for 2 years, you got to go around, so it takes
Mhm.
it takes a bit of courage to do that. So you've sort
Yeah.
of overcome that, because that's one thing you need for wholesaling, and the second thing is you're just door knocking and talking to people. I mean, it doesn't get more brutal than that and cold calling, does it? So you've just,
It
I mean,
doesn't.
you've set yourself up. And then what the other thing I liked and I noticed that was a smart move is you've got a tech guy. You've got a tech guy, and
Mhm.
you know, so it's just come together beautifully. And you can just tell by the way you present yourself and you talk that you're all over it with communication and everything. And I reckon that's probably one of the biggest things with wholesaling. You've got to communicate,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
you've got
and
to
I
be able to take
appreciate that.
rejection.
Yeah, I mean, I think people like when I mainly I guess what I do really well is when I talk to sellers, they like feel like they're talking to someone that like is professional, or I guess, or can get the job done. When they're talking to me versus, maybe 7 other people that have gotten their lead from their online resource, like from a Google ad or from any other lead source, I think I'm going to set myself apart, because I have different processes I use in my sales process that like make people feel like, hey, I'm dealing with like a legit company, a legit person. So
Professional.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. All right. Well, I want to get on to your wholesaling business. Do you want to just give us a quick overview of your wholesaling business, where it's at now? Like, you've built it up. Have you got a bit of a team? Have you got a smaller team? Do you run
Yeah,
mainly?
Yeah, it's kind of small. Depends, there's definitely larger real estate investing, wholesaling businesses, but basically we have an acquisitions rep and we have some leads managers that filter the leads to them so they can, so they're always on the phone with the seller that wants to sell. And then we have a dispositions guy. So basically once the house gets under contract, it's up to the dispositions guy to either wholesale it, find a buyer, or we look at it as a company and we say, hey, let's actually flip this one. Let's keep it as a rental. Let's do something creative with it. So that's kind of the team. It's not too crazy. Then you have your virtual assistants, and then you have your marketing, which is cold
Yeah.
calling, pay per click. Just anybody you can do any type of marketing. You just got to be consistent with it. We've seen the most success with cold calling and pay per click, but yeah, that's kind of what my wholesaling business looks
So
like.
so it's in a good place now. You've sort of got it where you want it, you reckon?
Yeah, I will be. I'm transparent when I talk to people there because of the shift in the market. I mean, we've seen a little bit of changes. I mean, the buyers are a little bit more hesitant. Sellers, you got to get better deals. So what's happened in our business recently is we've had virtual assistants like expatriates running our acquisitions team for like the last 2 years, doing a good job. But now I'm actually having to jump back into the acquisitions role because I wasn't doing all the sales for my company. I was doing other things in investor side, but now I'm jumping back in and closing sellers. And that's yeah, just to kind of let you know, it's doing well, but there's always
Yeah.
tweaks. And unfortunately, it's never just
Oh,
just
it's that
streamlined.
business. Yeah. Yeah. No, I was just asking because, um, it's an up and down. It's a roller coaster ride in any, whether you're a big wholesaler, like a massive company or a smaller, and it does it. And the market shift, like you said, will have a massive effect on everyone.
It
And it's how
really,
you
yeah.
adapt in that. And the next sort of thing I want to ask about investing, have you got any other, like, would you like to expand into seller finance or lease options or any of that, or doesn't interest you? Are you going to stick with wholesaling, or do you think you'll do buy and hold or anything like
We
that?
definitely we're doing more flips now. We have 3 flips going on, and we're doing creative financing. One of those deals is from creative finance
Yeah.
subject to. I think wholesaling is a great way to get in as a beginner because you risk less capital. A lot of people think you can get into wholesaling with $0, which is technically true. But if you want to scale a wholesaling business, you need money. You need marketing money
Yeah.
because
Marketing.
you got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and so. Wholesaling is not something I think is the best option always. We don't. It's always an option that we exit strategy we have that if we can just get rid of it, it makes more money than if we flipped it. Like if the upside on wholesaling is better than flipping, we'll wholesale it. But yeah, we definitely are exploring other options
Yeah.
now, like flipping and creative financing.
So when you said before you sort of get a bit of shiny object syndrome, so you would have studied all this stuff. So at least you've got it there as exit strategies and entry
Mhm.
strategies. So it's probably been handy for you to be like that because you've got you know all the systems already, don't you? So it's
Yeah.
you've got to have some grounding, and instead of just being a wholesaler or just being a
For
yeah,
sure. And that's kind of been the thing is like when I got into wholesaling, I had zero knowledge when I first started 4 years ago, zero knowledge of real estate, didn't know anything. Right. So I just went in, put my head down and grinded. Right. But then as you start to learn all the exit strategies and all the different ways to make money, that's where kind of like my business has been like that in the past is because I've seen so many different ways to make money. And I'm like, oh, let's try this and this and this. But my advice to anyone watching is like, you got to master something. You got to master one thing, focus on one thing and master that and then move on. You can't come in, learn about creative financing, flipping, wholesaling and think you're going to just crush everyone. It's not like that.
yeah. That's great advice, Nathan, for sure, because it can be portrayed sometimes out there that it's that easy, but it's not. You really need to niche down on something, become good at
Mhm.
it, make it your bread and butter, your stable income, and then go from there. But the thing I really
Exactly.
want to talk to you about, because I see you present well on social media all over, so and you've got like you said, the YouTube channel and all that stuff. I just wanted to sort of touch on you or how firstly, how long have you been, because you said you weren't into it originally, how long have you been doing the whole social media thing?
So I've been doing I went heavy into social media at the beginning of the year, but
Yeah.
I started about a year ago. I started a Facebook group. It was 0 members and now it's about 3,000. And the social media has blown up just through, trying to post consistently. Like I joined a mastermind. That's another thing to help everyone succeed is you need to get a mentor or get in rooms with people that are better than you, like mastermind groups and stuff.
Yeah.
Cause I went in that group, a mastermind group, and they literally laid out the step-by-step plan of how to grow your social media. And I did it. I just said, okay, plug and play, let's do it. So it's really helped me to just grow that
Yeah.
brand, grow it
So
out.
it would have been also really great for networking too, because a Facebook group and a YouTube channel, you end up with other people in those areas, and you end up in networking groups, don't you, with people that are
Yeah.
further down than you. So you've jumped on that and you've used that.
Hmm.
So you've tied that in with your wholesaling business, and you do podcasting and everything as well. So you've the question I've got is, how have you tied it all together? Is it like herding cats, trying to get it all to come in together?
It is kind of difficult, and thankfully I have a business partner, so he helps run the wholesaling business. Like he's the COO, he like runs it all, and I've been running Investor Thrive, trying to help people, educate people, help them throughout their businesses and provide information for people. So has it been difficult? Again, with the amount of things that you can chase and that you seem like a good idea, it has been. But I think like if you can hunker down and focus on what you're specifically going to go after, it can get easier. Which I
Yeah, yeah,
there's a book called Rocket Fuel. I don't know if you've read it, but it talks about visionaries and integrators. And visionaries, they have the ideas. They're always trying to improve and grow the business. The integrators keep you on course, right?
yeah.
So I'm a visionary, and I have so many ideas. I want to do so many things, but having integrator and is extremely important to
You might
getting
need
where you
3
need
or
to be.
4 integrators. You might need even half a dozen integrators. You've got so many ideas to keep up with you, which means that you'll just fast track. I mean, that's not a
Right.
bad thing. That's not a bad thing being super creative and super visionary. I don't think anyway. So I'd
Yeah.
be encouraging you. I'd be saying, do it while you got the
Keep
energy.
it
That's fantastic.
keep it
Yeah.
going. Yeah.
So you've got all that going on because I'm painting a picture. I go, yeah, I love the way you're doing things, and you also present really well too. Like all your graphics, all your podcasts. Anyone that watch it, we'll give it a plug later on. But anyone watches your podcasts, everything's really clean, and you do it really
Thank
well.
you.
So I think that you doing all these master, it's obviously you're fast tracking yourself, and you're
Right.
learning and taking notice of all those things. What I like too is you're also putting back. You got a Facebook group. You're doing free content on your YouTube. You got free stuff. So you've got people that can actually come in that maybe not be cashed up, and they need the help and they need to be able to get started. Is that important to you? I mean, you said you're a Christian and everything. Is that important to give back and have that attitude?
Yeah, because the flip of the switch, or like what changed everything for me, is I used to look at everybody as competition, especially when you're wholesaling, you're going on appointments, and you see some guy leave the house, and you're about to go in and talk to the seller. You look at him, and you're like, you kind of get a little,
Yeah,
prideful or whatever. You're like, I'm getting this deal. So I used to look at people like that and be like, I can't help anyone out because they're going to take my deal. And
yeah,
then
yeah,
I learned from one of my mentors named Brandon Simmons, and he's got I think he's got a mastermind too called the Go Giver, and he talks about like, hey, the more you give, like you give back, the more you're gonna get, right? And that's kind of like where everything shifted for me. Is I was like, look, man, I'm holding all this knowledge I have in the hopes that maybe I don't lose a couple deals. I can give back and help others, and maybe they'll come back and say, hey, Nate, I know you have a buyer in Utah, I know you have a buyer in San Francisco or whatever, can you help me sell it? And that's, once I started doing that, I started getting more deals. I started working with more investors that needed help. And that was kind of the vision of Investor Thrive, is like, look, not everyone has to pay Nate to, or me to get, like, I guess my knowledge or my help. I'll provide like a hub for investors to
yeah,
go to learn. And if they want to join my mastermind, if they want to work with me and have me mentor them one-on-one, then let's do it. But that's not going to work for everyone. No, not everybody
yeah.
wants to work with me. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's so you've made that paradigm shift across into an abundance mindset now. You think, and even if a bit of old stuff comes up, you just squash it and say, no, no, that's not the way to think, Nathan. It's abundance, and it
It's
is.
abundance.
And
Yeah.
you would have noticed the things just change in your life, wouldn't it? Things starting to open up, and
Yes.
relationships open up, and things starting to flourish a bit more. So, yeah, that's good. I mean, how long ago did you sort of make that mental shift from
A
across?
year a year ago.
About
Yeah,
a year
when I
ago.
started that Facebook group, that had 0 people, that's when I made the shift. I was like, "Man, like, I can help people, and, in return, I'm gonna grow." So, a year ago, and it's been good. I've been better ever since.
Yeah, and then when you get, like you said, I mean, that's great. I'm offering you this. You can have this for nothing, and if you want to come and work with me, it's got obviously paid stuff,
Mhm.
paid courses, paid mentoring and coaching. you got to pay if you don't, like if you want
Yeah,
to work with someone that's very busy and give you the time, that's just
that's
what you
it.
got to do.
Yeah,
And but I like that now. It's not pressure sales. It's like, well, you're here, you come across, and if you want to work with me, but if you don't, I still go and you just said the word yourself. Go and find someone that is a fit for you, but you need to be leveling up. And you've given that advice straight out
exactly.
to. I mean, that's a gold nugget. We call them thunderbolts on this show. That's a thunderbolt for
There you
anyone that's
go.
watching that's new. And I love it, mate. It's a great attitude. And what I want to do is I've got I've got some questions that I want to ask you, like just sort of quick, because
For sure.
obviously, you've pretty busy. You've sort of slotted this interview in between stuff. So I really appreciate it that you've been able to
Yeah,
come
appreciate it.
in between stuff. So I wrote some questions out. Like, what advice would you give? And we'll talk about a wholesaler here. What to a new
Yeah.
wholesaler who sees you and wants to pursue what you're doing? What would your first bit of advice be?
My first bit of advice, if someone wants to work with me specifically, and I'll say if someone just wants to get into wholesaling, so if they want to work with me, I would go to investorthrive.com. I have a free course that I give away where it's just going to teach you how to get into it, right? How to get into wholesaling. And as you level up or as you need more mentorship or you want my time, then you can schedule an appointment. We can talk about what that would look like if you want to work with me. So
Yeah,
that's what I would say for someone that's brand new. If you don't know who I am and you're a wholesaler and you just want to get into it, I would say the most important thing you can do is pick up the phone and get to work and be consistent with that action, because there's too many people that spend a year, 2 years, 3 years watching videos,
yeah,
trying in analysis, stuck in analysis paralysis. When I first started, I didn't know anything about real estate. I started knocking doors and just telling people, hey, I want to buy your house. And that was my action, and not a lot of analysis. I don't, that's my problem. And
you
you can
take
say that
action.
double-edged sword. I
You're
take
an
a lot of
action take.
action
Yeah,
immediately, not a lot of analysis in
yeah,
the beginning. I just go for it.
yeah. No, that's
So
good. You take, what do they call imperfect action? You just take action,
that's
and you
it.
work. That this you hear it
You
said that
learn as you go.
worry about step 1 and 2 before you start worrying about step 8 and 9, because you get lost in,
Yes.
well, like what you said. But
Yeah.
I think you might have sort of answered the next question there, which I had, which was, you know, um, in your opinion, what's the best personality trait? So you're probably saying just take action. That's one that you've got.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's it. Yeah, that's a personality trait I'd say that would be helpful.
and what's one of your learning lessons and one of your favorite memories in your journey in wholesaling? Now, you've been door knocking that, so you could have some doozies, but
Yeah.
what's one of your favorite memories that you look back fondly on, in up till now?
Man, one of our favorite memories. It gets blended together, all the deals you do and what's happened. I'd say one of my favorite memories is, recently we just had our biggest deal. It was a
Yeah.
flip that we did, and we made $145,000 profit on the deal,
Oof,
and that
man,
felt good.
that's good.
Yeah. So
That's
I
good.
was like, that's a great memory.
Was the first deal that you ever landed nearly a sweet, or
No,
nearly as
not at all.
nah, not
It was it no, it
yeah,
was a $5,000 deal.
yeah,
And which is good, to get your first deal and you're just like, wow, this works. But being older and more experienced, that deal I could have probably made 30, 20, 30,
yeah,
having the buyers and the knowledge I do now. But
yeah,
buyers, they do that. They know they smell the blood in the water. They know you're new. They're like, yeah, I'll give you this. And you're like, great.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
10 times what I thought I'd get. What
yes,
are you, at this
exactly.
stage where you are right now, what are you most proud of? What are you most proud of that you think, yeah, look,
Shoot.
I'm chuffed with that, you know?
It's really hard for me to sit back and be like, I'm proud, because I don't feel like I'm where I want to be.
Yep.
I get to that point. But if I sat back and was like, um, I'm in my office right now. Like, I used to work at home for a while, and now I have like a studio office. I'm pretty proud that like I have a window, a window office where I can look out at the mountains in Utah. I think that's cool. Like when you sit back and realize like, hey, I have a place to work, and not saying working home from home is bad. I have an office at home too, but to be able to have a place where I can provide
Yeah.
other people work, that's something that I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. And like you said, you're able to reflect gratefully on it. You're looking at this beautiful window, and it catches you. And yeah, that's very humble. I mean, that's showing a bit of humility, which is good, especially for a younger guy. A lot of younger guys can get too pumped up and carried away, but you've
Yeah.
got a fair bit of humility there. I like that answer. That's a ripper.
Thank you.
Who's been, your probably your biggest professional real estate mentor? Like, it doesn't have to be someone that you physically know. Like, it's someone that just you went, wow, I got to watch that person, listen to that person.
I have a lot of people have influenced me. I would say Jerry Norton. I don't know if you know who that is,
Yeah,
but
yeah, love, yeah, yeah,
he's
Jerry
awesome.
Norton.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's helped me a ton. I went to one of his fast track trainings like 2 years ago, and ever since then, we've clicked, and I help him out a little bit on some of his coaching calls. He's given me some great advice. So I'd say him, Sean Terry, and Brandon Simmons in their
yeah,
mastermind. They've helped me a ton. I mean,
yeah,
it's really cool because as you go, you level up and you get mentors and you grow. Like everybody has a piece that helps you out. So just being grateful, I think, and
yeah.
acknowledging that it helps you grow.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, they're all industry leaders, and you've been able to hang out with industry leaders. I mean, so you're just rubbing shoulders with people that just have been there, climbed the mountain. So you're just going to fast track, aren't you? And
Hmm.
what another thing, Nathan, is they're real people, aren't they? They're real human beings, and they're
They
probably
are.
top blokes. They're probably really good blokes.
Hmm.
Once you actually get to know them as a human being, so it's funny because they've got a massive presence out there, and people have probably got different opinions about it. But like I
Hmm.
said, the very first person, I'm in another country, so I just got onto everyone like, "What's this wholesaling YouTube?" And Jerry
Hmm.
Norton was one of the first ones, and I got Flipster, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I'm going through, I'm going, "How cool is this?" I'd never turned a computer on before, so but I always admired Jerry because of the amount of content he pumped out, like just that
Yeah,
much content, and
it's amazing.
like all of those guys. Yeah, so that's awesome. The You mentioned books before. Give me three of your best books. I want to. It'd be interesting to find out you know what your sort of top three books are.
Think and Grow Rich has been awesome for my mindset. The Slight Edge, I don't know if you've heard of that, but it just talks about
Yeah,
consistent daily action. Love that.
yep,
That's helped me to be more consistent. And then the seven, I think I always mess the title of this, but the 7 highly effective habits of effective people.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't,
I've
I
got that
messed
one
that one
too.
up,
Yeah,
but that's a
yeah,
great book too.
yeah. And
I
I
love,
love
I love mindset books. That's what I like.
this. These are two questions I love. I love hearing because everyone's got different answers. But um, like, what's one of your favorite productivity hacks? Like something that you just go, I've worked this out. This is my thing. I've worked this out. Like some people say, oh, I eat the frog. I do all the hard stuff in the morning. Or have you got your own? You know,
Yeah. This is like I'm very biased, but I created an app. I didn't create the app. It's called Asana. It's a project management tool,
yep,
and I pretty much run my personal life and my business out of that project management software. Which basically you can set tasks for yourself, and it will remind you at what time, what day to do them on reoccurring tasks. So if you need to, make calls at specific hour every day, you click.
yep,
You can complete it if you did it, and it will reoccur the next day. And you can assign it to other people in your team so you can see when they complete tasks, and you can actually talk within that task about like how's it going. So if I'm like, hey Felgreen, my editor for YouTube, I say, hey, this video, I didn't really like the title or the way it looked, can you change it? And he'll get a notification within that task specifically to post that video. So I have everything pretty organized within that
yeah.
software program where I feel like I'm not missing out, I'm not forgetting stuff.
And that was your product, was it? You designed that,
Um,
did you?
so I wish I designed a song. That would be amazing. So it's just like
Oh, it's just an
there's
app that you got.
it's an
Yeah.
app. It's like
Yep.
click up. But what I've done is I've customized it to my life
Ah,
and
okay.
my
Okay,
business
I get you.
where
Yep.
it can remind me
Yep.
to do things. So I've used it for productivity.
And like you said earlier, you have got the nature where you can get squirrel syndrome or whatever every now and then. So that would be awesome for you, wouldn't it? Because it'll keep you on track and reminded. And look, I'm the same. I can turn around now and forget that I've got an appointment. I can not look at my calendar, and yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
That's full
it's
on. But
been huge. Yeah. The only issue with the sauna because of the squirrel syndrome, or being everywhere is you can add a bunch of different tasks that you will want to do. And then all of a sudden where you should really be doing 5 or 10, you got 20 because you thought they were all good
yeah,
ideas. So
yeah,
it's a double-edged sword, but it does help not forgetting stuff.
yeah, yeah. And the other one I was going to ask you that I like is at what time of the day are you at your best? Like, when do you do your best work? Are you an early person or an afternoon? Are you a sprinter or a marathon runner or a bit of
Um,
both?
Sprinter for sure.
Sprinter
Like,
morning.
yeah, like for example, I love being in the office, but when no one's here, I can get the most work done because I'm not trying to laugh or chuck, cut up with everybody, and I do pretty well when everyone leaves. You
Yeah.
know? But
That,
that's
that
the
that
sad
just
world.
prompts me with a question. What sort of culture have you got there? Have you created a certain culture that you love, and you've created it within your workspace and your team?
Yeah, so it's I'd say they're two different cultures. The Investor Thrive culture, since it's run by a lot of virtual assistants in the Philippines, is the culture is like, hey, everybody matters. It's everyone's an employee. We're in this together to build this. This is not just
Yeah.
my business. This is our business. This
Yeah.
is we're growing this. And I think a lot of people treat virtual assistants as like just do this, and they don't talk to them. I talk to my VAs all the time. They're awesome. I think they love their jobs, and that's the culture in Investor Thrive. Is like, hey, this isn't just Nate's thing he's building. This is let's do this together. And in off-run homes, I think it's a culture of like, hey, we want to put the seller first. Making a quick buck isn't worth, doing, not treating people or doing what's right.
Yeah. 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 No, so that is, you built a really good culture there, team culture, like a sporting club. So that's cool. We've got a couple of minutes left. I've got a couple of quick more. I'll do them as quick as I can. What
Yeah,
do
you're
we
good.
got? What are some of your success habits? What are your top two, like,
Um,
routines, success habit? Have you got anything like that?
Yeah, because I have the project management software, like I would say I've mastered the right habits from
Yep.
like reading self-help books. I plan my day every day on a planner that like outlines my, subtasks, like the most important things, what I'm grateful for. I have a journal where I actually write things I'm grateful for. I've been doing it consistently for like 4 years. I have what's called a theater of the mind list, which I just write things where I feel like I've been successful and I review things in the past so I feel like a winner. I do affirmations. Like I have an
Yeah.
app on my
Yeah.
phone that just plays back affirmations I've recorded. So I have like a morning routine process that I go through
Yeah.
to like make me feel invincible by the time I'm done. Because it's not easy. Like things like people quit on you, crap happens, and market shift.
Yep.
You have a house you think you're gonna be able to sell, and you can't sell for as much. So you got to be able to have a strong mindset in real estate, I think, or you're gonna get wrecked. So those are the things I do continuously.
Last two questions. They're podcast. This is for the podcasting version of you.
Mhm.
Um, what are your favorite podcasts that you watch? Being you're a podcast, you interview people. What do you love watching? What are your favorite, say, two podcasts? They don't have to be real
Um,
estate. They can be anything. You know.
I mean, I'm a big sports guy, so I like basketball, so I like to listen to basketball podcasts and like
Yep.
where they think players are going to go, and that's not real estate. But also Joe, I mean, everyone knows about the Joe Rogan. I
Joe
think it's
Rogan.
interesting to get interesting people on and ask them questions.
Yeah.
I really don't listen to too many I'll be honest, I don't listen to any real estate podcasts. It's mainly just like
Yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. And the last one is, if you could interview anyone, even someone that's passed away or whatever, and someone that's alive, who would be your big interview?
Oh man, that's in the past. I mean, I interviewed Jesus,
Yeah.
but
Good
that's
answer. That's a great answer. Yeah.
that's,
That's a great
that's what I
answer.
do. And then someone living, you know what? I'm sure I can interview tons of people. It's hard for me. I don't really I can think of an answer, but I don't really look at people that are like alive right now and not emulate, but like adore anybody.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
but I guess um uh maybe like I would say Grant Cardone, but I don't even want to
Yeah.
interview him. I
I
mean,
I
and
think you
maybe
nailed it. I don't think you can go past Jesus. I think
yeah,
I'd want to too. I'd want to sit and talk with Jesus. Like, I think anyone,
yeah.
what I mean?
Sorry, that's like the ultimate answer, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Elvis or John Lennon or someone like that, just to say, like, how good was the
Yeah.
Beatles or something. But that's about it. All right, I'm just going to go over. We've chucked a couple of touch points here for you on the screen. You can give
Mhm,
even. I'll just go over these two, and if there's anything else, just give it a quick plug, and we'll jump off because we've got about a minute to go.
mhm.
So anyone that's new, just go to investorthrive.com. That's the
Mhm.
Facebook group, is it, or is that the?
So investorthrive.com is the website
Oh,
that
sorry,
we
the
have.
website. Sorry,
Mhm.
yeah, the
You're
website,
good.
and that'll just take you to the website, and then you can go from there. And to
Mhm.
reach out to you, it's this is your Instagram, isn't it? At
Yes.
Nathan Payne Official. So there's two contact points. Start there, and then I mean, you know, you sound the sort of guy that I'd want to hang around with if I was over in Utah. I'd come and hang out with you.
Yeah,
So
come on over.
I'm coming over the States in about probably 2 months. If I end up anywhere near where you are, can we go door knocking together? Just for the
Let's
buzz of it.
let's do it. I'll put on a body cam and we'll go knock and we'll go
We'll
make
go
some
door.
content together.
Yeah, we'll do a YouTube video on that. That'd be awesome. But
Yeah.
no, thank you, mate. I mean, there's some real thunderbolts in there. Like if anyone, especially any wholesaler getting into the business or just struggling, listen to what Nathan said. He goes from success habits, he goes through the grind, he goes through everything. So go and check out his stuff. I've watched some of his YouTube stuff just recently. It's great, and my advice to people is get around people like Nathan. Like he's
Thank
up
you.
and about. He's hung out with people that have already been to the top of the mountain. So check him out. Go to the website. Join his Facebook group. Follow him on Instagram. And Nathan, great to have you on the show. I'd like to get you back down the track where we could deep dive on a few
Yeah.
things, but that's fantastic, mate. I love your energy, and that's why I wanted to get you on. I love
I
what you're
appreciate
doing.
it, and I got to get you on my show. And just to let you people know, I want to give a free giveaway. So if you go to investorthrive.com on the homepage, it's just if you click, you get a free course. It's like a full
Awesome.
free blown course on the resources and how to start analyzing deals and knowing how to make offers to sellers. So I'm just giving that away so people get started. And
I'm
so
going to
check
reach
it
out
out.
to you about that
It's
because
free.
I've got stuff in my Facebook group, and I'll be, if you want to share that resource that it can, I could direct people to you because I think that's amazing, good stuff. All
Thank
right,
you.
good on you. Go and smash it. You've got more to do, and thanks for coming into the Thunderdome. And look, guys, because we've had a live wire like Nathan come in, you guys have been thunderstruck. So
That's right.
we'll cheer. We'll say goodbye.
Hey,
Cheers.
thanks for
Thanks,
having me.
Nathan. Good on you, mate.
Appreciate it.